Okay, where are we at? We are in the middle of the fighting buggy build. Actually, a little bit further than in the middle. And if you've been watching in series, I jumped ahead and skipped step D, the D bag, only because I didn't have all my electronics, which that has been corrected. I have the 1060, which I'm going to use, and I have a Spektrum SPM S663 standard servo. It's waterproof, it's plastic, it's got a 25 tooth servo, and I think that's going to cause a problem because I don't have a servo. Oh, there is a servo horn, because it wants you to use the servo horn that's included. And then I need a receiver, and I have my receiver over here. Let me grab that. And I've got the RadioMaster ER3C, because there's nothing, there's no additionals items on this, so I'm just going to use channel 1 and channel 2. 1 to turn, 2 to burn. We're all set, so I'm not going to use the Amazon special, which is fine. It's a good receiver, just not necessary. And I'm going to, you want me to standardize or center, sorry, this, here we go. I need to center my, what do you call it? Center my servo. And I know I've got my stuff to center my servo somewhere right here on my desk. I saw it earlier. Give me a second. Have it. It's right here. I am wearing pants. I didn't want anyone thinking I'm avoiding from standing up showing pants, but I am, well, I'm wearing shorts. It's Florida. It's nice out. So I got a small servo horn, and then I have a steering servo. And I have a, there we go. That'll be centered once I plug it in. Cool. Okay. That's centered. So now I'm just going to unplug it. Oh, you guys want to see how I center that? Yeah, I guess we can do that. So, oops. When this is plugged in, 2200 is turned all the way to one way, 1500 is in the center, and then 800's at the far end. So right now it's just modulating through. So there's 800, 1500. I guess I can turn it like that. 1500. So that means the servo is centered. One day I'll figure out why the number scheme. Today's not that day. I'm sure it has to do with angles and stuff, but 1500 is centered, 800 and 2200 are on the far ends. And it wants me to use a 90-degree servo horn. Attach is shown, and it wants it within 10 degrees off center. That is 10 degrees off center. Cool. It's not exactly 1-for-1 ratio. That's straight up. That's 1. Okay, so 1 tooth off from straight up. And I'm going to use the cap screw that they gave, so I know that'll fit. It is a Phillips head, so we'll use this. It's funny building an old kit and using plastic servo horn. But considering there's already a servo saver built in, maybe it's not that funny. How does that go? There we go. There's that. My shirt's riding up. Okay. And then, oh, here's my driver. He's all done up. Put him over there. Servo, garbage. What's next? Want that wired up. $1060. I went with the 1060 just because it was economical. This isn't a... I don't plan this on being a super fast buggy with the stock 540 in there. Legendary silver can, as Tamiya would call it, which is fine. I did purchase the next version of this, right? The BBX. So when that arrives, I'll assemble that for you guys, and maybe I'll do a comparison. Okay. It's got a Dean's connector. I don't have any batteries with Dean's connectors. I'm going to cut this off and put on a real connector, like an XT60. I realize this is a Tamiya kit. Probably should use a Tamiya connector. This one, actually, funny enough, says photo shows Tamiya connector on there, but it's got Dean's. So I'm going to hold on to this box because I'm probably going to need it for programming, because this does not take a programming card. Oh, but it is just dip switches, and I'm not using nickel metal hydrate, so I'll move that over right now. And we are going forward brake reverse. Forward brake, not forward reverse. So I'm going to leave it. It is programmed right there, exactly how I'm going to use it. But I'm going to get the kit up and running so I can swap out my Dean's connector. I got to get wire cutters and an XT connector for this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so finished soldering. Right, the connector on. Remember, black goes to the rounded part, red to the squared part. And on an XT connector, unlike a Dean's, the receiving end, the female end goes on the receiver. On a Dean's, the male connector was on the receiver. Not a big fan of that. I'm throwing out the Dean's connector because I'm never going to reuse that. It is not high priority. And we are going to continue with the build. Put that over there. Whoops. I just knocked over the solder station, which is still hot. So let's not do that. Pull this into the middle. There we go. That. Okay, so I need 2 of these. Not cut nicely. Interesting. Alexa, turn on the rack. Just add some more light to there. We're good. Wants the ball end on this. It's empty. The ball end. These are part of that. It's garbage. cut the corner off and then poured everything out on my desk. That was not the genius move I was looking for. These screws are getting smaller and smaller. Okay, so we are using the ball connector, and this is the 2. This is going on the servo. Interesting. Curious how they knew how thick the servo horn was going to be, because that's not really going to grab. Did they And this is the first kit where I didn't get a servo horn with it that I'm aware of. Right? That's right. Okay, I'm going to try this a different way. Where's my screwdriver? Take that off. There's the ball end. Yeah, that's not going to work. Maybe it will work. Okay. Nope. I think the servo horn's just too thick for this screw. I'll try one more time, and then I'm going to go find a thinner servo horn or a longer screw. Yep, that's always fun. Felt it hit me, and I lost it. Let's see if we can't find it. Oh. Stuck it and won it. Wasn't expecting that to happen that quickly. What do I do? This servo horn. Use servo horn and screw included with servo. But it's too... Okay. I'm gonna have to find... Well, this is 25. I don't have a whole lot of 25 servo. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Don't know what I'm gonna do here. Give me Okay, so I'll tell you where I'm at. I found another servo horn. This one was so it had all 4 sides on it, like the instructions had cut off the 3 sides. Then looked a little janky because it had rough cuts on it, so I just sanded it down. That is the smoothness I was able to get out of it. It's 25 tooth, for 25 spline. So that fits on just fine, or at least it did when I... Yep, there it goes. And it is thinner. The correct ball fits on it. Just got to get that screwed on. Hopefully that'll go on without any issue. And by any issue, I mean I'm going to need at least get it started. And then use the right side. So we will use a little bit of coaxing. And just slowly screwing in. And it is coming out the other side, which is what I wanted. Then they want a locking or a nut on the far side, which that one fits. Sort of. Probably should get started. Oops. Like it doesn't, it's not turning. There we go. That came off. So let's try a different one. I'm going to use and to cheat a little. Loctite will dry. That'll be the end of that. So that one's on, and then we got to put that on the servo horn. I did not make sure the servo horn is still the same servo, just a different servo horn, 10 degrees off. It's not 10, that's like 20. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, there we go. And 2 of these, like so. What kind of hardware we're using? We're using decimal washer. That part is there's only 4 washers in here that are supposed to fit. I can't find them. There we go. this with that one. That one. Cool. We are almost done with mounting servo. Okay, so we are through part 21, and we are into 22. 22 is the connecting rod, ball ends, for the steering, 2. You don't have to cut anything off, so it's nice. It would be nice if I can grab this. There we go. Yep, not that one. Turn this to 70.7 millimeters. I need a that, and I need a that. Let's see how we did. Shooting for 70.7. Let's do this. Millimeters. Ooh, 66.2. Wasn't even close. Let's get that unwound. Just went the wrong way. Not even close still. See? I think this is close. Nope. Ooh, pretty close. That's 71, and I need to go down, but I also need to rotate this correctly. So this one needs to be up, and this one needs to be rotated all the way down. So I need to shorten this one loop. Up 90 to it. sure it's tarred correctly. Let's try that. Okay, I think that's about as close as I'm going to be able to get it. Otherwise my directions are going to be off. So I'll just have to adjust it from there. We are doing 4 screws. There's 1, 2, using these screw holes. Okay. And we're using BA flush mount. That's too long. It's too short. That's it. Where's the other one? There it is. Nope, they're not both the same length. Two of these, but I only got one. I got some random one from over there, so that's probably it. They're both identical. They are identical. And they're tubes. Cool. Okay, next one's in. Let's do this upside down, this way I don't lose it. There we go. So that's done. Cool. So in this step, they show two different servo length rods. It has to do with the old analog versus the digital, new standard ones. Didn't have two different placements, but you also have a lot more screw holes that weren't used for the servo. But it said select shaft length according to servo size, but the new servo size on this. So Tamiya updated the instructions, but not entirely, because they didn't give us the part. Or did they? Well, I take that back. They did. They just included it in a different bag just in case. Didn't just come out. So it's interesting that they still incorporate the legacy parts. I'm surprised it didn't have a throttle linkage for the old mechanical throttles. If you don't know what that looks like, I have one somewhere. No, I just recently threw it out. But here we go. So what's next? Next is the tray. This part cracks me up. The new on-off switches used to be a lot bigger. They used to fill up the whole rubber, and then they would go in this to be waterproof. But the new ones are waterproof. And side mount to the ESC like so. So you don't necessarily have the luxury of that rubber gasket. So the new one goes, how's this one go? Okay, so I gotta mount the body trays to this. It's one of these. A flush mount. Rosette washer. I think the rosette washers are in the blister pack. They are. Lighter than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Don't need these just yet. These aren't the ones I need. Cool. So that. The rosette washer. Rosette washers are going to go in there. So those are going to be apart. Allen wrenches. and body clips. There we go. There's a rosette washer. 1, 2. B82. 3x10. 3x10. Here we go. Even for the 3x10s, these aren't 10s. And there's no actual size on the Bug. These are BD2s. Yeah, I'm out of, I only have one. Only have one. But I will find another, because I'm not building this incorrectly. Yeah, flush mount, mini, 3x10. Countersunk. Not two of them. It's just weird. So I haven't used a whole lot of flush mount or countersunk screws on this, where I would have used the wrong ones. There's literally only 2 screws in there. Oh, not going to worry about it. I've got one that works. There's the whole lineup. The whole line's up that way. Cool. Yeah, that's the right one. 2 different body mount parts are included. Select either. I'm going to go with the aluminum ones. They look better. They also give you plastic ones. I'm going to go with the aluminum ones. Okay. So that's how that goes on. I got to fit the electronics on this as well. So there's that. Speed controller, so I want it like this. One over here. Alexa, turn on the 4-pack in the garage. I just realized I mounted this upside down. Alexa, 4-pack in the garage, please. Thank you. The difference is where the on-off switch goes. And while I'm not going to stick something through the on-off switch, I want it to be accessible. So I can turn the buggy on and off. And I'll just double-sided tape. Okay, there, and it keeps the on-off switch on this side, which is why I had to make the adjustment. But I'm not going to be able to fit my finger in there anyways. I don't know what the big deal is. That's where the battery's going to go. Okay, so the on-off switch is going to go right here. This is going to go over here. I need double-sided tape. A lot more double-sided tape somewhere. These pieces. Okay, I'm just gonna have to make this double-sided tape work. This is the good kind from 3M, and that, and I need my receiver, which is in a very small pack. And I forget, my receiver's so big that I don't need a whole lot. It's so small that I've already misplaced it. Yeah, I misplaced it. Oops. Okay. My receiver got misplaced. So I'm just going to grab the other one, and I will find it in due time. There's my spare receiver. But it's so small that I've got plenty of space, so I just got to use the right amount of double-sided tape on everything. I don't know that I can use double-sided tape here. Fit this through. Fit the on-off switch through. I might just mount it on the bottom of the deck. It's here. I'm just going to mount it on the bottom deck, on the reverse side. There's more space that way. Put this over here. And the receiver can go virtually anywhere. It's tiny. Okay, let's get this cut up. Cleaning the deck to get it free of any grime. Probably should have done that to the bottom of the ESC. Nobody saw that, Jeremy. This is the hardest part, is getting the second piece of the double-sided tape off. That's it in. Sorry, I know you can't see anything while I'm working on my lap. switch works fine. And lastly, the receiver. Deal with that after. Decal backing keeps coming out. Okay, here we go. So now I just got to figure out where I want this. So this is going to go in here. This is going to go here. This is a long enough lead to go there. Cannot bring the lead up through there, but I've got enough space. Where do I put the receiver? Down here? So the only thing I really have in the upper deck is well, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, that was a faux pas. So it turns out the on-off button is in the way of the post. So we're just going to reset that. And that's the mount post. It should be out of the way. Should be. I can still get to it, and it's out of the way. And here we go. So I'm going to mount the receiver up here, right next to the, yeah, right next to there, so that there's plenty of space. I'm going to save half of this to reset the on-off button, as I just messed up the glue from that. Let me get the isopropyl. Get this cleaned up on the bottom of the receiver. Okay. Right there. Sweet. So that is now there. All these can go in the garbage. Pieces. Electronics are mounted. Okay, as I was saying, I was camera for some strange reason turned off just as I was getting ready to go get the remote and set everything up. I wasn't going to do that on camera anyways because nobody wants to see the setup for an MT12 with the way I do it, because it is time consuming and kludgy. But it's only been, I don't know, about 10 minutes since the camera turned off and then started uploading. So everything is in, all the battery is connected, and I have turning. It's turning the right way. And on the rear side, well, actually we'll go that side this way. You can see the gear and hear it. It is running. And then reverse. It's funny to watch the shocks move around. I'm going to load up the wheels, or the tires I should say, because they're done, because I did that in the previous video, which will be the after video, oddly enough. So I did load up tires. I put them on the metal rims that I had purchased. They are not currently glued. I'll see what happens. I do need the last of the blister pack. The last of the blister pack. Oh, I don't even need to cut it. These things are free floating. For the hexes that go in here. This setup is just weird. Although I don't know that I can use these. I sit there and think about it. Can I use these? I have no way of interlocking the wheel to the center hub to the tire. So what am I going to do? How do these normally mount up? Screw onto the wheel? They do. Okay. So these mount up as a screw on. Okay, I can do that. Yep. I'm going to mount these wheels to the hubs and go from there. That would explain all the little screws that are still left. I'll put this on the ground, give myself a little bit more space, and we will work on that. Outside. This is the inside. This would grab the nuts. Okay, I think I know how I'm going to do this. I'm still going to use the inside rims, I think. For the front wheels. That's not going to work. These grab this like this. how that's going to work. I don't know how these wheels are supposed to work. Oh boy. Well, it was a nice attempt. I think I gotta go build the rims correctly. Just use the stock. I don't have any way of making that mount. This would just grab the nuts. But it's not going to grab the nuts on this one, right? It might get these ones. It's not going to capture the nuts on that one. Okay, now I'm just talking to myself. I'm going to call it quits for tonight, and I will come back with fresh eyes and try and figure this out. Okay, so I figured out my scenario. I wasn't ready to go to bed yet, but that's happening in a minute. So I had to cut the inserts out of the hub and just screw them to the back of the wheel. So we've got an aluminum on the front side and plastic hub on the back, and then the wheel hub for the latches on and grabs them. So that'll work no problem. And that's pretty secure. So did that for both. I'm caught up. You're caught up. I'm going to go buy some new hubs for it. I don't like the idea of not having the ability to revert back. Although this is a re-release, so I don't think I really care. I'm probably not going to do anything about it. But that's where I'm at. Now I'm going to say good night, as I am through, mostly through 27, which is the last step. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. The last step. I still have to mount the tires to the chassis, and then it's just a matter of putting the body on. And the body is painted. I've got some decals to apply, but I'll bring you in right before I get to that. So that is a tomorrow thing. When I finish up the video, I'm just going to let the body had some touch-up paint done today, so I want to let that harden overnight before I touch it again. So thanks for staying with me. If you like this kind of video, well, obviously if you like this kind of video you've already watched to here, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. This way you get all the updates as they get released. And I hope this has been informative. I know a lot of it's been me babbling, and I'll probably edit out a bunch of that so you don't have to deal with it. But I will leave some of it in because it's slightly entertaining for you to not be stuck in my world. Remember, I'm making these mistakes so you don't have to. Although they really haven't been mistakes, just more or less new challenges just because I've added hop-ups that weren't necessarily part of the Tamiya lineup. But I think these wheels are really cool looking. Definitely a lot better than just the generic plastic ones, right? And this is what the front one would look like, and here's the other one. And I'm guessing probably going to have to cut this one out and apply this over this wheel. Maybe not. Although it is just takes bearing, so I don't know that it really matters. It takes bearing and then gets compression fetted on from the other side. So I shouldn't need to cut out any more to make this work. But that is a different. Howdy. Last I left off, it was getting late in the evening. Not super late, but late enough that I was getting frustrated. And it's always best just to circumvent the frustration, just come back to the buggy. So here we are. I left last night with the wheels being a little frustrated. I had to cut the hubs out of the plastic hub And luckily for me, Tower Hobbies is running their 25% discount today. So I went looking for the parts. Didn't find them, but I did find them on eBay. So I went ahead and placed an order for replacement ones, just so I have the OEM plastic generic. Now, my current setup, I'm using a lipo, and with the lipo, none of the battery trays that they provide are gonna, or Tamiya provided, were gonna work. So I've just got Velcro. It's not super retro, but sometimes you just got to go with the roll with what you got, because I don't see myself ever getting back into nickel metal hydride batteries, although I still have a charger for one, and I still have, I think, 2 that were never used. I just wasn't going to use the pack that went in there, right? And I remember this one having the square hump pack that came through this spot. I also used it on the Wild Willies. That was kind of like my only Tamiya pack. Everything else was more like generic. But it had a Tamiya adapter, and obviously I've updated this to the AMS XT60. I'm running a RadioMaster 3-channel with the Hobbywing 1060, because we have the ever faithful 540 silver can that came with the kit. On the front, I'm running a Spektrum S663 steering servo, and it looks like it's looks like I remember these things. Not well, my steering's a little off, but that's the most amount of throw that you get out of these things, because I don't know if you can see it, but the rod at full push, and I'll have to adjust the throttle, hits the front bumper. So that is full throw. I remember it just being just like that. Not a whole lot of throw in these things. I'll adjust the
trim center.
What I do like is it's got a nut. It definitely has a, whoops, easy killer. The advantage to current servos is they just have so much more torque than their historic brethren. And I guess I could have pulled out an old Futaba. I go play my Futaba, an old Futaba servo, but I really wanted to go true nostalgic. But I'm holding on to that one for the Clodbuster. Then the only thing left to really assemble is the body, and so let me go grab that, because we'll just show where it's at the moment. Hi, Murphy. And it has been painted. It needs to be unwrapped, obviously, and I think I need to still touch up the silver, so I'll probably do that as soon as I click off. I'm going to sticker this up, and then it is going to get, and by stickered I mean decaled, of course. What else was I going to do? I need to put in the netting for the driver. Need to install my driver. And what else was there? Decals, and then clear coat. I'm going to clear coat the body. I want to preserve it. So that's where we're at with this. So my last step of assembly is really just going to be that. Hey, bud. Okay. I'm going to try and determine whether or not I really want to touch up the silver or chrome. Secret to good tape is it doesn't stick super hard. Right, this didn't pull off any paint. So, I think I'm actually okay with the silver sides. I think I'm just going to leave it. So this is what it should look like when the body's on. Okay, so we need a little bit more assembly. That rear shock is a little wonky. Of course, it requires it to be put down. But that is the completed, mostly completed, build. So, next time you see it, it will be 100% complete. And that'll be a next video, so I'm just going to publish this. I will show it complete, and we will do a run video next. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It matters to me a whole lot. And we have a near completed buggy, right? Because once this goes on and he goes in, how does he go in? He goes in like this. Easy. I don't know how his head goes in. I guess I got to stick him in from underneath. Murphy, why is your fur in my car already? I haven't even taken it for a drive. I got fur in the car. Nobody saw that. Luckily, it fell on a padding, so it didn't damage. There we go. I still need the dashboard to be put in, so I will address that. There you have it. There's the buggy coming at you. Once again, thanks for watching.